Good morning friends, Lina here. Today is the garden update day. We are at my allotment. It's 5 o'clock in the morning because otherwise there's a lot of people here. That's my neighbor. His potatoes look lovely. I'm gonna go through bed by bed and tell you about all of the fun bits that have happened and all of the not fun bits that have happened thus far, because there is a lot. There's loads. Let's start with the first one. Do you remember my strawberry bed? I remember my strawberry bed. So my first rhubarb, I thought it died. So I bought another one. And now the other one is dying. But the first one has shown a little bit of leaves. So I think it's working. That's gonna be fine. What's not gonna be fine is that I didn't do any strawberry netting. I will not have any strawberries this year because pigeons nipped all of the green ones off and left them for me in little rows, in clusters. So yeah, no strawberries from this patch, which is sad. With this bed next to it, I had plans of having like a winter squash, which is that one, which is doing pretty well. It's established now. We had a bit of like couple of funky days, and sunflowers. But not all of the sunflowers came up. There's a couple. But that's about it. I think there is like 5-ish sunflowers that have come up. It didn't have a good germination rate. I don't know if the soil's too thick and it couldn't get up, or something ate them as they were coming up and just plucked them out. No idea. But what I'm gonna do is I have some amaranth at home, so I'm gonna plug that in the gaps, and I think it's gonna look really, really nice together. Sun is just starting to come up through that tree. It's cool. This is my bean bed. I don't know if you remember it. I planted some beans in here. They love it. I think I will not have a bean shortage this year, which is going to be really good because I can freeze some for later. There you can see my carrots. That is actually the 2-3-year-old seeds that I just dumped in there. And then the carrots that I bought this year have really poor germination rate. And they were in this corner. And as you can see, there's not that many. On the opposite side of it, more carrots. So these are summer squashes. I don't know why they are so light in color, but it's fine. They are growing and I mulch them so that I don't need to worry about watering them so often. On the opposite side we have carrots, which was this year's carrots, and they didn't germinate well. And then calendula. I have a sunflower there. So what's gonna happen, it's gonna be this massive stalk. I planted it next to the pole so I can tie it against it because it's like a 2-meter sunflower. Okay, next bed. It's my cucumbers, and I've lost some. I had 11 cucumbers total, and now I have 7. They just didn't survive the transplantation, but 3 and 4 I think is gonna be plenty for me, and then I have 2 at home as well. I am thinking that in between here, I don't know what to put there because it is an empty space at the moment and it's just waiting for something. And these are my Greek gigantus beans, which are doing really, really well. And they're just growing. I didn't think that they're gonna survive because I had a lot of problems with slugs eating them. You know, when the two little leaves come out and the first shoot comes off, some of them got the shoot eaten, and I didn't think that they will be okay, but they are. So what should I put in the middle, in between the poles? Salads or radishes? Please let me know. I do so enjoy like spending time with you in the comments. It is really nice to have friends. And then on this one we have some dill here that is up and about. I probably need to do some succession planting just over here because there's nothing here at the moment. There's my sage that got eaten at home. And calendula and some marigolds there. It's gonna look really nice once it's all done, and it's gonna look really like jungle. So that's my cucumber bed done. We are coming to my tomato bed. One of them. I did the experiment, so there's some peppers here. I don't know how they're gonna grow. There's calendula on the corner, my tomatoes in a row. Whee! Yeah, there's the calendula. And then loads of beetroot. Unfortunately, what I have noticed is that the beetroot here is starting to develop like a leaf miner issues, like that. And what it is, there's little worms inside of the leaf eating it. And there's quite a few, and they just keep going forward and around. And I was trying to make it pretty and just keep some marigolds and some lobelias here, just to make it like a little bit more fun and colorful. On this side I have basil and then some more beetroot. I really do not like beetroot, the red kind, so I heard that the other varieties don't have that earthy taste that I not particularly enjoy. But I'm gonna try different varieties because there's like pink ones, white ones, golden ones. So these ones here, don't drop you, are the golden ones, and I'm gonna try them and see if I actually like beetroot. I think my garlic that I inherited will be ready very soon. I do not know when it was put in, so I cannot gauge when it's gonna be ready without actually plucking one out, which I might need to do, which I'm not really happy about. Someone else is here, so we're gonna do this really fast. Like, it's 5:30 in the morning and someone's already here. Look at my elephant garlic doing scapes. This is my onion and leek onion and carrot bed. Unfortunately, you know, when I did the carrot strippy things, it didn't work. No, I think I need to put them like 2 or 3 seeds in at each point because the germination rate was so bad, and I literally have gaps of nothing here. It's gonna be fine, but onions are really happy though. Soon enough, I'll probably start harvesting the green part of the onions because I can freeze it and then use it like a garnish or in soups as a slightly milder version of the onion. And it doesn't hurt the onion if you do it from the outside. Don't take the inner leaves, take the outer leaves, and it just like makes more rings around the onion. So each leaf is like a ring inside. I have a really nice neighbor. He's very loud. This is my corn. Do you remember we planted it together? And it's established now and it's almost up to my knees. I planted the beans about a couple of weeks later, And I planted bolotti beans, which I googled, and it said it's gonna be French variety, and just the person's walking past. I'm just waving at him and he's waving back. It's fine, everyone's super friendly here. So bolotti beans, I googled, and Google said that bolotti beans were French climbing beans. And then I was thinking, after I planted them, that how do they commercially grow them, because I bought them from a commercial grower from organic farm. And then I researched more, and it turns out they're like almost like a climbing bean, but they're approximately 60 centimeters tall and bushes out. So I don't know how it's gonna go. It might be such a failure, because corn's gonna grow, and then there's gonna be a layer of beans, which might be too tough for the middle ones, because it's very, very closely planted. Because I didn't think that all of the corn would survive the transplantation process. And corn needs to be quite close together to pollinate, because they have these flowers on top that drop pollen on a cob part of the plant. And so you need more flowers to pollinate for good pollination. So I planted it very close together. It's fine. It's an experiment. It's the first year I'm actually growing corn, because I haven't had the space before, and this is my first time in my life growing corn. Yay. It's a great success thus far. It's growing. And then I have some radishes here. We actually, you can see the leaves here, had radishes last night here before we watered, and they are almost ready. They are ready. They're just coming in at different times. And my winter squash is doing really well. Not as well as the one at home, but what can you expect? And there's my beans, and color marigolds have survived the transplantation process, which is great. Yeah, so about the winter squash at home, it is growing really, really well, because I put it by the garage wall. It's really sunny, there's not much wind. I mulched it to its ears and so it's nice and moist and really warm, and it's just shooting off. It's about 30 centimeters tall, which is perfect. Then we here at my other tomato bed. Do you see the pattern here? So the other one's it's like a massive strip of tomatoes. The two beds kind of align. I have more marigolds here, more basil, all kinds of colors. I like to experiment with colors. Calendula, that's in the bloom. Isn't she pretty? And there is another one at the end. I'm growing so much calendula this year because I'm gonna try to feed it to my birds and have enough petals to dry out so that the birds can enjoy them during the winter, because it's a little bit of splash of colors to add to the chop that I make. Tomatoes are doing really, really well. I need to string them up again, so I'm gonna use these clips. I saw these clips in a video from James Perigioni. I hope I pronounced his surname correctly. He's in America and he was using it for his tomatoes as an experiment, and it worked really well, so I got some a couple years ago. Thus far, awesome. I've been washing them and kind of in a hottish water so that the disease doesn't transfer over, but I haven't had disease since. So if I get blight, I'll probably get rid of these because they will be infected, but until I get blight, I'm just reusing them. This is the other side of my tomato bed. There's radishes, those two strips of radishes that I put in. They are starting to toughen up, but what this space was actually for was amaranth. I have plants that need to come here and live in all of this bed, and I don't know how to put them out if the radishes are not ready yet. I might just pull some out and then put amaranth in between and let it go out while the radishes are growing, the amaranth's gonna grow over them, and radishes should be ready before amaranth, hopefully. Next bed is still covered because I do not trust the wildlife. I have some extra tomatoes there that didn't fit anywhere else, so there's 5 tomatoes now. There were 6, one died, and so I put the calendula there. You can kind of see it's growing. And a single broad bean that accidentally grew in my pot. With these ones, I have my little cucamelons. They're here. 8 of them survived transplantation, and they are slowly, I think they're growing. I don't know. I just noticed 7 of them have survived transplantation. I seeded 18, so my track record of growing cucamelons is not great. This is the first year that they haven't been eaten by something. This is the other side of it, and these are my tomatillos. They are blooming like crazy, and I hope that they're gonna be okay. I popped some sunflowers down there by the poles, and the first lot got eaten by slugs, and then the second lot is here. I'm just covering these up because I don't know how pigeons deal with it. It has kind of stopped growing because I think it's starting to flower, which is really strange because it should be like a tomatillo should be like a rambling plant that just grows bigger and bigger and bigger. But these ones are just like sitting here, being a little upset. And then the last of my beds is my brassica bed. Yay! I got a cage for it because I have lost three lots of seedlings in there. I think from the original seedlings that I started at my home, I have one surviving one, and then I bought lots of cauliflowers again, and slugs ate them all. And then I bought another lot, and some of them survived. And then I have some broccoli in there, I have some cabbages there. I got it from my neighbors here, and it's just a mix of bits now, and some red cabbages there as well, because I just couldn't. I couldn't keep up. So unfortunately, I don't like to admit this, but I use pellets for slugs because everyone around me here is using the slug pellets, and I was the only plot who wasn't, which is bad to be if the slugs get killed around you and your plot's like haven for them. So I used a little bit and they have survived. I am gonna mulch these really deeply as well, because that will help with the water retention. I am gonna be going away for a week, and that will enable me to walk away and be okay with knowing that this will be watered and not drying out. So I am making this as a blog to myself because I am gonna do another garden tour next month around this time, and we're gonna see what the difference is and how much everything has grown, or if it has grown, or if I had managed to do it. So thank you very much for hanging out with me today and seeing my garden. I'm gonna clip my tomatoes now, and I'll see you next time. Bye friends. Oh, and I'm gonna go home and hang out with you in a chat because I do enjoy that a lot with my cup of tea in the morning. Bye!